So yesterday we were discussing from this section where Lord Brahma is answering the question of Yatha, Srstim, how creation begins. Kalam karmas bhavancha mayesho maya swaya atman nidrichaya praptam vibhushur padate. At the beginning of the creation, in order to start the creation, in order to manifest unlimited number of universes, so that unlimited variety of jivas can perform their unlimited variety of activities. So as soon as he desired, Maya appeared from the skin pores of Mahavishnu as Pradhana. She is also called as Dravya, she is also called as Maya, Gunamaya, Nitya, many other names are Avyakta, like that. So Maya came. Then, as it is mentioned in the previous verse, one of the previous verses, that the entire universe is made up of 5 components. Dravyam, Karmacha, Kalascha, Sabhavo, Jiva, Evacha. So Dravya came out of the skin pores of Mahavishnu. Now, other 4 should interact with Dravya. So then Mahavishnu glance upon Dravya. That glance carries the other 4 into Dravya. So what are the 4? Kala, which is the potency of Lord's Shakti, Lord's own potency. Karma and Swabhava belongs to Jiva. Along with Karma and Swabhava, Jiva also goes. Though Bhagavatam verse does not explicitly say Jiva, we should understand that Jiva also entered into the womb of Prakriti by the glance of Mahavishnu.
This is based on the understanding of the acharyas or reading from the different part of the scripture we have come to.
So one example I'll tell you. So somebody says that this a white kurta having a ISKCON symbol on the pocket belongs to Rupanuga Prabhu. And somebody saying that that white kurta with white symbol is going. I see that white kurta with white symbol is going. What do you mean by that?
Inside,
There is a person who is wearing that kurta is going. That kurta alone cannot go. Something like that. When karma and swabhava are going means the jiva possessing that karma and swabhava is going. Something like that. So then, Kalat guna vetikara parinama swabhavata karmano janma mahata purushadishtitas abut. So since Kala, Karma, Swabhava, these 3 entered into Prakriti, which is nothing but the 3 modes of material nature. Prakriti means 3 modes of material nature, consisting of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. But after annihilation, they became into equilibrium state. So while Prakriti is in the body of Karma, they are in equilibrium state. Even when it came out, also in equilibrium state. But when Kala, Karma, Swabhava enters into that Prakriti, the Kala, Karma, Swabhava begins to interact with the 3 modes. So what kind of interaction and what will be the effect of that interaction they mentioned in this verse? Kalat guna vetikara. The guna starts transforming because of or guna vetikara. The gunas are agitated by the interaction with Kala. Then by the interaction of Swabhava, the gunas are transformed into a different state. Then by the interaction of Karma, there appeared Mahatattva. From Pradhana, the first element born is Mahatattva. As we mentioned yesterday with respect to analogy, the Pradhana is like the seed in the godown. As long as the seed is in the Mahatattva, or in the Mahavishnu body, it is like in the godown. When Mahavishnu wanted to create the seed, the Pradhana comes out of the body of Mahavishnu. That means the farmer took out the seeds from the godown. Then Mahavishnu glancing upon Pradhana, the farmer sowing the seed in the field. Then in due course of time, by the interaction of all the things, atmosphere, there is a sprout. That sprout is Mahatattva, predominated by mode of goodness. Then in 1-2 days later, small sapling comes up. That is Sutra Tattva, predominated by mode of passion. In due course of time, the small sapling becomes a small trunk from which small branches come out. The trunk is Ahankara, predominated by mode of ignorance. So by now, all the 3 modes are into action. So then Ahankara is divided into, from Ahankara comes 3 sub-branches. One branch is Satvika Ahankara branch, one branch is Rajasika Ahankara branch, other branch is Tamasika Ahankara branch. From those 3 branches, there comes separate twigs. and from the ticks there comes leaves, then flowers and fruits, like that. So many things manifest. That is what is we can understand like that. Matastu vikurvana raja sattva brahmita tama pradanastu abhavad dravya jnana kriyatmaka. So from the transformation called Mahatattva predominant by Rajas and Tattva, as we mentioned yesterday, that since Sutattva is not mentioned very clearly many places, so Mahatattva itself is said to be having both goodness and passion. Sutattva is like sister component of Mahatattva. Both are almost together. So in that way. And then from that Mahatattva, there comes a substance predominant by Tamas known as Ahankara. And this Ahankara will be consist of three energies: Dravya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. They are also called as Adibhuta. Dravya Shakti is called as Adibhuta. Jnana Shakti is called Adhyatma. Kriya Shakti is called as Adidaiva. So what is this Adibhuta, Adhyatma, Adidaiva? We'll understand today. We'll discuss from 6th chapter. There the more explanation is there about these three. So it's like that. Then so Ahankara iti prokto vikurvan samabhut trida. Vaikarikas Tejasascha Tamas Chetri Bida. Dravya Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, the Prabhu. Basically, from Ahankara, there come three branches. One branch is called as Vaikarika, that is consisting of Jnana Shakti. Second branch is called Tejasa, consisting of Kriya Shakti. Third branch is called Tamasa, consisting of Dravya Shakti. So, three different branches are there. Tamasa, first the Tamasic Ahankara is described. The branch consisting of Dravya Shakti is described. Tamasad api bhutader vikurvanad abut naba. Tasya matra guna shabdo lingam yad drishta drishtayor. So from the darkness of false ego, okay, first of the five elements, namely ether, is generated. Its subtle form is the quality of sound. Sound arose before ether. Sound represents objects unseen and objects seen in the present as well. So before sound, though reading through the verse, we may understand Tasmat api bhutader vikurvanat abun naba. Naba is said to be the first element appearing from Tamasic Ahankara. But actually, Tasya matra guna shabdo lingam yad drishta drishtayor. The tanmatra of that sound is, the tanmatra of the ether is Shabda. Shabda appears first, and for Shabda to transform from one place to other place, there should be via medium. That via medium appears later on. So that is ether. That is mentioned here in this verse. Without purpose, there is no need of having something. The purpose of ether is to transmit sound from one place to other place. It's like that. So then, Nabasota Vikurvana Dabut Sparsha Gunonila Paranvaya Shabdavams Prana Oja Sahobalam. Then from ether, there arose the subtle sense, touch. If you take previous as literally, no, how can you say that Shabda comes first, then ether? The next verse onwards, the rest all verses describe that Sanmatra comes first, then comes the grass element. So the same I think should apply to the previous verse also. So in that way we should take.
The second statement in the previous verse.
Tasya matra guna shabdo lingam yadrushta drishtayor. Lingam means form. Drushta drishtayo. Sound represents objects unseen are the objects of the past and seen in the present as well.
So as it is, the second statement does not actually say from sound ether comes.
That is understood based on the next verses. Not this does not say. Here does not say anything. So basically the quality of sound is that reveals us the objects of the past, present and future. And then from sound comes ether, and from ether comes touch, from touch comes air. Air holds the previous quality of sound also, and air is also called prana, which gives strength to the senses, mind and body. Basically it is called prana. That prana which sharpens the senses is called ojas. That prana which sharpens the mind is called sahas. That prana which gives strength to the body is called balam. So prana takes care of our body, our senses and our mind. As long as our prana is intact within our body, we can be said to be in good health. In that way, prana is the direct function of air. Vayorapi vikurvanat kala karma swabhavata uda padyata tejo vai rupavat sparsha shabdavat. Under the influence of time, karma and swabhava, kala karma swabhava, by a transformation of air, by the transformation of air arose the subtle aspect called form, and then from form came fire. Because for the form to move from one place to other place, there should be fire. Unless until there is a light agent, we can't see the form. That is essentially required. So touch and sound also exists in fire. The previous qualities also exist in the fire, and fire itself has the new quality known as form. So this is how the next two elements also manifested. From air, form arises, and from form, fire arises. Fire are the sense objects, the sense of sound, touch, and form. Three qualities are there for fire. Tejasastu vikruvanad asid ambo rasatmakam rupavat sparshavat chambo goshavat cha paranvayat. From the transformation of fire arose taste, and from taste there arose water. Basically, for the taste to go from one place to other place, there should be a via medium. Then water appeared to carry the taste from food grains to our tongue. In that way, water contains form as well as touch as well as sound from the previous elements also.
How do we understand water contains form?
What we see the water, na? It has form.
When it actually takes the shelter of a particular container, then it actually
Still, it has a form, na? सब्जी में वो ग्रेवी रहता है, that is a form. Anything you can see, that means it is a form. Air does not have any form. Ether does not have any form. Fire has a form. Water has a form. And earth has a form. Earth and earth subsequent components, table, mobile, laptop, your kurta, everything has a form.
whatever we can perceive through the naked eye, we actually see it as a form.
Obviously. Whatever we see through the eyes. So for us to see something, we need fire. So starting with fire elements only, the form is there. The elements which are prior to fire, they do not have any form. The elements which are prior to fire are air and ether. And subtle senses also do not have any form. The four antakaranas also do not have any form. Man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana, we can't perceive them. The perception through our eyes comes starting with fire only. Whatever appeared after fire, they all have form. And in addition to fire, they also have their own unique qualities. So that's why form, the quality of form is not there in the air. Air only has two qualities, touch and sound. And ether has only one quality, sound only, not even touch. So since they don't have any quality known as form, we can't see them. It is as simple as that. Visheshastu vikurvanat ambhaso gandhavanabot paranvayad rasasparsha shabda rupa gunanvita. From the transformation of water arose smell. For the smell to move from one place to other place, the via medium earth also appeared. Earth contains the subtle aspects. All the five aspects will be there in the earth in addition to smell. Smell is there. In addition to that, we have taste also, touch also, form also, and sound also. Any transformation of the earth, think of having all these five components. Yesterday we said that railway track, when train is coming at a far distance, you can hear the sound. Or when a stone is falling to the top, or when a building collapses, you can hear huge sound. And some pebbles might come and hit you. There is a touch. And the building itself has form, no issues.
So, so we example of the building. So we example substance level.
Water only you would,
We can have all these qualities of taste, touch, form, and so on. ऐसा कुछ है?
बता रहा हूँ ना. Home. When home collapses, when a घर collapses, will you hear some sound?
sound is there.
Touch.
Touch फिर रहेगा, form में रहेगा, taste ऐसे.
मड को टेस्ट करो ना, कुछ तो टेस्ट आएगा ना. Taste means not only eatable taste. Any some taste will be there na. Is it tasteless? Mud is tasteless?
Never actually tried after going old.
Huh?
Never tasted it after going old.
After going old.
Means बचपन में
किया होगा ना.
किया होगा, लेकिन
मतलब if you want to know taste, whether some taste is there na, taste it. Some taste will be there na. It may not be sweet, it may not be salty, but it will be some bitter or something that some taste will be there na. Give some name to it. And fragrance will also be there. Some fragrance will be there. So all are there. Or you take, of course, you may not get sound clearly. Okay, now in the kitchen, the sweets are made. Okay, some gajar halwa is being made. Will you get some sound while it is being made, while it is being cooked? Sweet कैसे बनाते हैं? कुकर में बनाते हैं क्या? कढ़ाई में बनाते हैं ना? When it is boiling, there will be some sound. Okay, and the next one is touch. When the fumes are coming out of it, if you are nearby, will you get the sensation of the fumes? Touch will be there. And then is there form to gajar halwa? And afterwards, when it is served on your plate, will you experience some taste? And fragrance also, na? So like that. Sound will be there. See, these qualities, you may not see everything. So when you put the gajar halwa on the plate, you may not have sound. There may not be sound. But sound will manifest at a particular time. But sound will be there inherently in that. Even for earth also will always have some sound. You fall flat and hear the sound of the earth. There will be some sound. Unfortunately, we may not hear, but if you are quiet and calm, you can hear the sound of the earth also. In any
have a
condition.
different frequency which you may not be able to.
Yeah. Sound will be there. But if you want to pursue sound, just wait for certain conditions. Put that gradients in the stove, then you will get all the sounds. So, if sound is not there in the earth element, how can you get sound? So, it's like that.
Even our body parts, it may actually have a natural frequency. So it means it produces some
Yes.
frequency.
Just by our being present here, it produces so many vibrations. Because the earth element, na?
Yes.
If earth element means sound should be there always. And our body is also made of ether. Sound is always there. When we breathe in, breathe out, also we make sound. So breathe in, breathe out is the function of air only, na? The air has sound. Air only, na?
Modern scientists, they just talk in different terminologies. The very same concept. Sometimes it is not even.
For example, this is the transformation of one earth element. This is the transformation of other earth element. Sound came. This is earth element only. It is supposed to have only fragrance. How come sound is coming?
Has come from.
Yeah, it also possesses sound. It also possesses the sound element. So the sound function. So it gives sound. Simple. As I mentioned yesterday, bottle has got water. But when I open the duction and pour the water down, it will get some sound. When the water hits the ground, it gets sound. We may call it as kinetic energy. This is, as long as water is in the bottle, static energy. When you open out the water, when it hits the ground, it becomes kinetic energy. That energy will dissipate in the form of huge sound.
Hydroelectric power plant.
वैकारिकान् मनोजज्ञे देव वैकारिकादशा दिग्वातार्क प्रचेतोस्वी वहनीन्द्रोपेन्द्र मित्रका. So basically, From Satvik Ahankara, there appears mind, and mind spirit is Soma, as well as the sense devatas of the 10 senses. The names are mentioned here. So the deity of the mind is Soma, and then the other devatas are direction devatas, the deities for ear, Vayu for the skin, Sun for the eyes, Varuna for the tongue, two Ashwinis for the nose, Agni for the voice, Indra for the hands, Upendra for the feet, Mitra and Anas for the Prajapati, Mitra for the anus, and Prajapati Daksha for the penis. And this Upendra is not Lord Vishnu, but a Devata who had the potential powers of prowess of Vishnu. Something like that. Tajasastu Vikurvanad Indriyani Dashabhavam Jnana Shakti Kriya Shaktir Buddhi Prana Chatajasu Shrotram Fagrana Jiva Vagdor Medrangri Payava. So this is interesting. I don't know whether you got it or not. We have 10 senses from Rajasic Ahankara. First, there comes intelligence and the 5 Jnanendriyas. Intelligence is the supervisor of the 5 Jnanendriyas. The 5 Jnanendriyas will acquire information from the outside material world. The ears hear sound. The skin get the sensation of touch. The eyes get the form. The tongue gets the taste. The nostril gets the fragrance. But what are the qualities of these objects? Or what are the qualities of the information received through 5 senses? Will be analyzed by intelligence. All these things are analyzed. Intelligence analyzes the information received through 5 Jnanendriyas. And then there is prana. Prana gives the vitality to the karmendriyas. It is through the support of prana, the 5 karmendriyas perform activities. Now I am able to speak through my mouth because my prana is proper. I am able to walk because the prana is proper. I am able to lift this, give this, collect it because prana is proper. Like that. The different activities of the karmendriyas can be performed only if prana is active. If a person died, what do we say? Unka prana chale gaya. When there is no prana in the body, still the hands are there, legs are there, mouth is there, but they can't perform any activities. Jab tak prana hai, tab tak karmendriyas will function. When prana is not there, either it is not there completely or it is weak, it can't perform any activity. For example, when a person is sick, the prana becomes weak, then the person cannot do anything. This is one of the important things in Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, they control pranas. By keeping the pranas under regulation, they are not affected to diseases very frequently. Keeping pranas in proper order by performing pranayama, etc., they will be freed from diseases. When prana is not proper, we are subject to disease. So then everything we discussed that. Karanadaksha Vishnu situated on Karana ocean. Okay. When he wanted to create, from his skin pore there appeared Pradhana, also called as Dravya. Then Mahavishnu glanced upon Dravya or Pradhana. That glance carries Kala Karma Swabhava. Karma Swabhava belongs to Jiva, Kala belongs to Supreme Lord. With the interaction of Kala Karma Swabhava, Pradhana transforms slowly and gives rise to Mahatattva. Then Ahankara. Then from Ahankara in the Sattva-guna gives mind and 10 sense devatas. From Rajoguna it gives Prana, intelligence and 10 senses. From Tamoguna it gives 5 gross elements and 5 sense objects. And all these are like sowing a seed in the field. A seed is like Pradhana, sowing it is like Mahavishnu glancing upon it. And then Mahatattva is like the sprout, Suchatattva is like the sapling, Ahankara is like the trunk. And the 3 Ahankara, Satvika Ahankara, Rajasika Ahankara, Tamasika Ahankara, like the 3 branches. And whatever their subcomponents are like the twigs, leaves, flowers, and fruits. Like that. Okay. A gigantic tree is manifested. So this is their interrelation. The 5 gross elements have 5 properties, and they are expressed by us through 5 Jnanendriyas, and they are under the control of these 5 devatas. And we have 5 karmendriyas to perform various activities, and they are under the supervision of these 5 devatas. And we also have 4 antakaranas, subtle senses, known as mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness, or man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana. Chetana is counterpart of Mahatattva only. It is non different from Mahatattva only. Within our body, we call it as Mahatattva. As a Chetana, outside is called as Mahatattva. The deities are, the deity of mind is Soma, the deity of intelligence is Brahma, the Jiva, the deity of false ego, Ahankara, is the Rudra, the deity of consciousness is, somewhere it is said to be Brahma also, but we should see that Brahma as Gunavatara and we should take it as Vishnu. Generally, it is said Vishnu, but sometimes it is also said Brahma. So, Soma, Brahma, Rudra, Vishnu, and Vishnu's potency as Brahma in the form of his Gunavatara can be also the Brahma deity of consciousness. Like this, 24 elements are created. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, 20 plus 4. 24 elements manifested from Pradhana. But even after manifesting 24 elements, they don't know what to do. They are lying here and there. They need to be combined together, then they can transform themselves into a big universe. Yadaite sangata bhava bhutendriya manoguna yada yatana nirmane nashekur brahma vittama tada samhatya chanyunyam bhagavad shakti chodisa sad asatvam upadaya chobayam srujit sasrujuri yada. O best of the Brahmanas, Brahma Vittama, as long as the grass elements, the 5 grass elements, the 10 senses, the mind, intelligence, ahankara, and mahatattva were not mixed together, it was not possible for them to produce material bodies. Then, coming together means they all separated now, they are coming together by the impulse of Lord's energy, accepting primary and secondary forms. They created the body of the whole universe and the individual bodies in it. So Mahavishnu entering all the 24 elements in the form of Vibhu Shakti, which is mentioned third canto, or cohesive energy. All the 24 elements are brought together. And from their combination, there appeared unlimited Brahmandas. Brahmanda means basically a universal shell made up of 7 layers with emptiness inside. The inside it is all empty only. Only 7 layers made up of all the 24 elements. The first layer will be layer made up of earth. Second layer is water. Third layer is fire. Then air. Then ether. The 6th layer is ahankara. The 7th layer is mahatattva. And ahankara layer will have the devatas, the mind, intelligence, prana, everything will be there in the ahankara layer. And the earth layer will have fragrance. Water layer will have taste. Fire layer will have form, and air layer will have touch, and ether layer will have sound. Like this, all the 24 elements are there in 7 layers. Ahankara. They are all appearing from Ahankara only, no?
They are present in the sense, they are literally geographically present?
Not geographically, since they are coming from. Yeah. The mind is also an element, na? Element is there. So in that way. Devatas are not there, but okay, Devatas are not part of the 24 elements, no, they are personalities. So mind, intelligence, and prana, these 3 are there at the layer of ahankara. Basically, mind, intelligence, both are there in the
They are
and 10 senses.
They are like elements, material elements.
Material elements only. Just like earth is an element, senses are also element. They are also, but they are subtle elements, not grass. So the creation of 24 elements is called as Karana Srishti. Karana means instruments or ingredients. The creation of the 24 ingredients is called Karana Srishti. By combining them, manifesting unlimited Brahmandas is called as Karya Srishti. Doing some activity with the ingredients, making tepla, like that. So when these ingredients were unmixed and when it was not possible for them to make the bodies, then the Lord entered them as cohesive energy. They became combined by his compacting energy and taking primary and secondary forms created by the body, created the body of the universe as a whole and the individual bodies. So by combining these 24 elements, Mahavishnu created initially unlimited Brahmandas. Eventually, Lord Brahma combining the same 24 elements creates the bodies for unlimited variety of living entities. So that was the whole idea. What Vishnu does is called primary creation. What later on Brahma does is secondary creation. So here you see, Mahavishnu is there at one place and all the 24 elements are here. He enters into all the 24 elements in the form of Vibhu Shakti. Vibhu Shakti means cohesive energy. As a result of that, the 24 elements are combined together. Then from that combination, there appears unlimited Brahmandas. Varshapuga Sahasrante Tadandam Mudakeshayam Kala Karma Sabhavosto Jivo Jivam Jivayat. After 1,000 human years, not Brahma years. Kindly remember that whenever Bhagavatam says years, that is all human years. Because Bhagavatam is discussed by Sukadeva Goswami to Parishit Maharaj. That is at the very beginning of Kali Yuga. So according to Kali Yuga people, the time scale should be understood. If it is Devata years, it is clearly told Devata years. If it is Brahma years, it will be clearly told Brahma years. If it is not clearly told, then it should take it as human years. After 1,000 human years, the Lord, situated in Kala Karma Subhava, brought to life the non-living universe which was lying on the water. It means after 1,000 human years, the Purusha, the soul of the mass of the Jivas, Hiranyagarbha, one who gives life, entering the universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, brought to life the non-living universe. This shows the connection of the universe with the Lord. The same Karnodaksha Vishnu, after combining the 24 elements, after manifesting elemental Brahmandas, when they allowed to float on the Karna ocean for 1,000 years, then he expanded himself as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, entered into one universe, and then brought that universe to life. Unless until Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters into any universe, it will be non-functional. That's why Garbhodaksha Vishnu is called as Paramatma for the entire universe. Karnodaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu, the Paramatma for the entire material nature. Is Paramatma of Prakriti. Mahavishnu, the Paramatma of Prakriti. Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the Paramatma of one universe. Kshirodaksha Vishnu, the Paramatma of each and every individual living entities. That is their services. Still the lifeless universe was lying. In Karna ocean for 1,000 years. Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu entered it and gave it life. Like this, they are all floating. Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu entered into each and every universe. So in this picture, you can see. Here we have Karnodaksha Vishnu. And this is our universe in which Garbhodaksha Vishnu is here. And every universe there is Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So by entering into each and every universe, he makes all the universes alive. So that the universes can perform their respective activities. Sayeva Purushastasmat Andam Nirbidya Nirgata Sahasroru Angribahu Aksha Sahasranana Shirshavan. Thereafter that Purusha pierced the universe and went outside. There he resides with 1,000 legs, feet, arms, eyes, faces, and heads. It means, having entered the universe consisting of the totality of the Jivas as Garbhodaksha Vishnu and being situated there 100 years of Lord Brahma, he pierced the universe and became situated outside as Karnodaksha Vishnu. How is he situated there? He is formed with material gunas. He is formed without material gunas lying on the Karna ocean is described. So one meaning of this verse is that the Karnodaksha Vishnu, after 1,000 years after manifesting the Brahmandas, entered into each universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, stayed there for the lifetime of Brahma. Then he came out, again merged back into original Karnodaksha Vishnu and remained there as Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. Or the other understanding is that after entering into each and every universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu manifested a universal form consisting of thousands of faces, thousands of arms, thousands of feet, etc. Some translators will translate as Garbhodaksha Vishnu manifesting Virat Rupa. Some translate as coming outside the universe and Karnodaksha Vishnu manifesting thousands of hands and feet. So both should be seen according to the description.
Karnodaksha Vishnu, from him, the Sahasra Purusha has actually come.
Of course. Karnodaksha Vishnu himself is having the form of thousands of legs and hands. The Purusha Shutra prayer is glorified like that only. Purusha prayer can also glorify Garbhodaksha Vishnu also. Garbhodaksha Vishnu also can be seen as thousands of hands, legs, etc. etc. So he can also manifest thousands of arms. Why not?
But in which context actually we see Garbhodaksha Vishnu as the Sahasra Purusha?
In every context. Because everything is pervaded by the Lord. This Purusha is the Antaryami of the totality of the Jivas, our entire universe. Tasmas represents a missing word particle. So basically, this verse is similar to the Purushasutta prayer in the Purushasutta mantra. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Utta Atatishta Tasangulam. In Bhagavad Gita, I think 14th chapter, there is a verse talking about Paramatma having thousands of faces, thousands of hands, thousands of eyes, thousands of nose, thousands of mouths, thousands of legs, thousands of hands. Yeah, they Bhagavad Gita 14th chapter. That was the verse was difficult to understand by Yatha. He had difficult to understand that verse. One day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in his dream and revealed the meaning of that verse. Then he suddenly got up and began to dance. This pastime was remembered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during Mahaprakash Lila.
That is this verse.
That verse only. Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 verse. That verse talking about Paramatma, not 14th, 13th chapter. Sorry. 13th chapter mein verse aate. Paramatma having thousands of legs, thousands of hands. But who is Paramatma? Shirodaksha Vishnu. So all the three Purushas, generally they appear in the form of four-handed form, but they can also manifest thousands of hands, thousands of legs. That prayer is glorification of that Vishnu. Sahasra Shirsha, thousands of heads. Sahasra Aksha, thousands of eyes. Sahasra Path, thousands of legs, etc. So
मुझे एक क्वेश्चन था जैसे
loud.
महाविष्णु से कारोदक्षाय विष्णु से एंटर हुए गर्भोदक्षाय विष्णु in each of the universe.
One language.
And from Garbhodakshay Vishnu, this is my understanding. You can get it. From Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the Shirodakshay Vishnu manifested in each of the living entity. From Garbhodakshay Vishnu se hai. So when the Jiva merges back into the Mahavishnu, so it was not from the beginning that Shirodakshay Vishnu was with them. Is it the right understanding? What is the final question? It is not Jiva ke saath. No, this is the last point. What was the last question?
So when Mahavishnu glanced, what all went into Prakriti?
Kala, Karma, Swabhava, Jiva.
Kala is there along with Jiva? Kala is like one potency of the Supreme Lord only.
Kala is with Jiva.
Obviously,
Karma and Swabhava is
with means may not belong to them, but it is also there, na?
Yeah, it is there.
Kala, Karma, Swabhava and Jiva, all the four went together into the womb of Prakriti. Okay. Now, later on in the third canto of Bhagavatam, in teachings of Lord Kapila, it will be mentioned that he is the same person who is situated inside the heart of every living entity as Paramatma. He is situated outside as Kala. Whose responsibility is to maintain the universe? Shirodaksha Vishnu. Shirodaksha Vishnu is responsible for maintenance of the universe, not Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha Vishnu will remain within the Garbhodaka ocean down below. He has nothing to do with anything maintenance of the universe. He just creates the lotus flower and then he creates Brahma. That's all. His service is over. He is in Yoga Nidra for the rest of the day of Brahma. It is Shirodaksha Vishnu is responsible for the entire universe to maintain it. Brahma takes care of the Dhruva Loka. He stays in Dhruva Loka. If you want to know where is Dhruva Loka, you have to wait till 5th canto.
And all the Devatas and Bhumi Devi,
They stay in Sarga Loka. Brahma stays in Brahma Loka.
When they all want to actually approach and
they approach Shirodaksha Vishnu. They approach Dhruva Loka only. They go to Dhruva Loka, pray upper prayers to Lord Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu.
So they don't have any access to Garbhodaksha.
No. Garbhodaksha Vishnu inside deep within the Garbhodaka ocean.
So Brahma has never actually seen Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
Brahma has seen. At the very beginning, that you will see in the 9th chapter, when there was no one, only Brahma was there. He performed tapasya. Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu gives him darshan and speaks to him this Shloki Bhagavatam. That time Brahma saw. That is for the creation itself. For the maintenance purpose, any problem in the maintenance, they approach Shirodaksha Vishnu. So like that.
So Garbhodaksha Vishnu is submerged in
Submerged in Garbhodaksha ocean.
And what we talk about the Shvetadvipa
that is in Dhroloka.
Is Shirodaksha Vishnu.
Shirodaksha Vishnu.
The same Shirodaksha Vishnu is all pervading.
Yeah, he is all pervading as Paramatma. Annantarastha Paramanu Chantarasam. He is there in the heart of everyone. He is there in every Paramanu also. Second chapter, third chapter में बताया गया ना. Second chapter, third chapter में बताया गया सब details. First canto में.
Then if this is
second chapter end में there is a discussion about Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, their services.
It is told that the difference factor of Garbhodaksha Vishnu and this functional roles that I was not able to.
It is there in the comments.
In the during the prayers of Brahma to Lord Krishna to manifest the 10th canto method. So he prays to which
Shirodaksha Vishnu.
Shirodaksha Vishnu.
For any problem in the maintenance, Devatas approach Shirodaksha Vishnu only. Once creation is started, creation is done, then Garbhodaksha Vishnu has nothing to do with this universe. He is in Yoga Nidra. He only assists at the beginning of the creation so that creation can go on. Maintenance is done by Shirodaksha Vishnu only.
And that message is transmitted to Brahmaji only.
Brahmaji only.
And the form of Shirodaksha Vishnu is standing always?
No. All the three forms are always in Yoga Nidra. Okay. Paramatma means Yoga Nidra. Karmadaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu, even Antaryami within our heart, they are all the four are in Yoga Nidra.
Then why always it is represented the many times in the heart of the yogis also in photos we see that is he is always standing. That is the standing position of Shirodaksha Vishnu. Always it is given.
He is always in Yoga Nidra. So what is the shloka that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita about Paramatma?
I am situated in every side and from me comes remembrance.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya. Which kind of person will be neutral to all? A person can be in three states, either sleeping or sitting or standing. Which kind of person can be equal to all?
Oh, this is
No, tell me. When a person is seeing others, there is always some partiality. When a person not seeing anybody, there is always neutrality.
Oh, that is very gross, no?
Because
but when it is
then why?
talked with respect to Samoham, it has nothing to do. I mean, it may actually convey the gross feelings, but it should not be always taken that it actually implicates that it is always.
Okay, wait. Both of you are there. Both of you are close friends. Both of you are always together, doing everything together. While serving prasadam or while doing something, if he makes some mistake, what will be your response? Please tell me. If he makes some mistake, what will be your response?
If I know that he already knows that, but still he comes.
Instantly, what will be your response? Don't analyze.
Then I am not actually replying to it. Then I am not correct at that point of time. I'll tell him later.
अब शुद्ध भक्त बन गया लगता है आप लोग. If he is making a gross mistake, very gross mistake, which will put him in trouble, then what you will do?
Then I'll tell him. Then I'll
you will help him not to make mistake, na?
Yeah.
That is because you are seeing that he is doing mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. When he is making mistake, okay, you are not seeing him. You are there in the same place only, but you are not seeing him. Then how do you respond? You don't respond, na?
Yeah.
Same way, Paramatma is in the heart. So we are making so many mistakes, but Paramatma does not say anything because he is Yoga Nidra. This is a gross example. He knows everything what we are doing, still does not interfere in our free will. That is there, but for us to understand the grossly, if the Paramatma is awake, if Paramatma is standing and seeing what we are doing everything, then he will tell, na, We only are concerned about other person not making mistakes, and why not Paramatma will be concerned, not be concerned?
He tells also.
वह कब बोला था?
मतलब he give the kind of repentance or whatever we actually have. He actually gives us the through in the power of knowledge and intelligence.
बाद में देने से क्या फायदा? तभी देने, तभी बोलने का ना, मिस्टेक होने का
Then
पहले.
he will not interfere in the free will also, no brother. बाद में दिया तो
See, this is just analogy. Don't extend it too much. So like that you should understand. Actually, it is there. It is mentioned anywhere. Antaryami means what? Antaryami means what? You are Telugu person, na? There are so many Annamaya shlokas are there in terms of Antaryami. Antaryami means what?
who actually resides inside.
What kind of residing? What is doing inside?
He is Anumanta. He is witnessing.
No Sanskrit.
He is witnessing.
You are Telugu understanding बताओ.
He is witnessing.
कभी सुना नहीं अन्नमय श्लोकस, अन्नमय कीर्तन्स? सुना बट कुछ समझा नहीं, कुछ समझ में नहीं. हाँ. Antaryami means he is the one who is taking rest inside. गर्भोदक शाही. Okay. कारणोदक शाही मतलब क्या है? What do you mean by कारणोदक शाही?
One who is residing on the Karna.
कारण उदक शाही. शाही मतलब क्या है?
Resting.
शयन. शाही comes from शयन. One who is there on the शयन. शयन मीन में क्या करते हैं? क्या करते हैं? हाँ. Bhishma is there in the battlefield after battle was over in Ampashaya. And Mahavishnu always there on the Shesha Panpu, Ananta Sheshka Panpu. So Shaya means sleeping. Karnodaka Shai. That Lord who is sleeping on the Karna Udaka, Karna ocean. That Lord who is sleeping on the Garbha ocean, Garbha Udaka, Shai. That Lord who is sleeping on Kshira Udaka, milk ocean. What is doing? Shai. And same way, that Lord who is there within the heart, what is doing? Antaryami. Yami also means sleeping. But not like our sleep. His sleep is Yoga Nidra.
Means he knows what we are doing.
But he remains
In the sleeping posture.
no. He is in sleeping posture only. He is in Yoga Nidra only. He sees what we are doing, everything, but he remains quiet and calm. He does not respond immediately. Because that is the duty of Paramatma. He only remains as a Sakshi. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi. Nivasa Purush. So it's like that. All these four forms are always in Yoga Nidra. Name itself is Shai is there, indicates.
Any other reference in the shloka Prabhu where it actually.
And name itself is indicating Shai. What reference you want?
Why? वैसा दिखाना चाहिए कि
That is the duty of Paramatma is to be in Yoga Nidra.
बट ये ऐसे फोटो में ऐसे क्यों बताया?
वो मुझे क्या पूछ रहे हो? उनको पूछो.
इसमें भी प्रभु जी ऐसे ही बताया.
उनको पूछो. Don't ask me. When I have not done anything, I don't ask me.
जब से इसको लो तब से
description is there.
Anywhere Paramatma is always in Yoga Nidra. Bhagavan will be in normal state, but Paramatma is always in Yoga Nidra. What to speak of this? Go to South India, everywhere the deities are there. They are in sleeping posture only. All the Vishnu deities. Some deities can be.
Balaji is Swayam, so he is Bhagavan.
Balaji is whom? He is Manvantara Avatara. He is not one of the three Purushas. Who is Balaji?
Who is not Vishnu?
He is Manvantara Avatara. He is not Purusha Avatara.
Oh, okay.
You understand the difference between Manvantara Avatara and Purusha Avatara?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are three Purusha Avataras. Karnadaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Kirasaka Vishnu. All these three are always in Yoga Nidra. And any deities who are one of the three will be always in sleeping posture. Other deities are not like that. Varadaraj is standing because he came out to give blessing. That's why he is standing. He came to give darshan to Lord Brahma. That's why he is standing. Otherwise, Sri Rangam, Ranganath Swami, and Ananta Padmanabh Swami and Adikeshwar Perumal, they are all in living posture only. They are all one of the three Purushas. So it's like that. Yasya vayaver lokan kalpayanti manishina katiyadibir adashtapta saptordam jaganadibhi. Read.
Within the universe, the wise imagine the planets as his limbs, the buttocks, and below are the lower 7 planets starting with Yatha, and hips, and above are the 7 upper planets starting with Earth.
You asked one day why it is imagination, na? That is described here. But we will discuss why it is said to be imagined at the end of the chapter. So within the universe, so what did Mahavishnu did? He created 24 elements, then combined them, created unlimited Brahmandas. Brahmandas are nothing but empty balls that are floating on the Karna ocean. Then he entered into each and every universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And that Garbhodaksha Vishnu manifested the universal form, consisting of thousands of legs, thousands of hands, thousands of mouths, thousands of faces, etc. So what is the shape of that universal form? There, I said, there are two understandings of this. One understanding is that Mahavishnu entered into the universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, stayed there for 100 days of Brahma, then came out as came out and meditated as Karnadaksha Vishnu, then manifested as Srstim form. The other meaning is that Karnadaksha Vishnu entered into the universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu and then manifested a universal form consisting of thousands of feet, thousands of legs, thousands of heads. Okay? And taking this meaning, now move on further. So then, what will be the description of that universal form consisting of thousands of legs, thousands of hands, thousands of mouths, thousands of hands? So like that we should take. But since it is said universal form, it is taken as a singular. So one form only consisting of legs, hands, and eyes like that. Normally one person, how does he have? That kind of description is said. So the within the universe, the wise people, Manishina, the most intelligent people, imagine, Kalpayanti, they imagine or they consider the planets as his limbs. Whose limbs? The limbs of the universal form. How do they imagine? The buttocks and below are the lower 7 planetary systems starting with Atala. What are the 7 lower planetary systems? These are the 7 lower planetary systems are considered to be the buttocks and the lower portion of the legs. Okay. And then hips and above are the 7 upper planetary systems starting with the Earth. From the hips onwards all the way up to the head, the 7 upper planetary systems are considered. What are the 7 upper planetary systems? Quick. Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. You should tell in sequence. इधर से उधर से नहीं घूमने का. इधर already भू है ना, earth came, so you should start with earth. Within the universe is the Purusha made of the planets, whose bodily limbs the wise imagine to be the planets. The sentence continues all the way up to 41. The universal form will be described all the way up to verse number 41. So basically, the universal form is like the human being. We'll be having the human bodily description. From the buttocks all the way up to the soles of the feet, 7 lower planetary systems. From the hips all the way up to the top of the head, the upper 7 planetary systems. Like that, the wise imagine. Kati means buttocks. Jaganam means the hips. The lower 7 planets start with Adala. Upwards are Bhu and other planets. The wise imagine the planets as his limbs, his hips, and above are the 7 upper planetary systems and below are the 7 lower planetary systems. How do they imagine? Purushasya mukam brahma kshatram etasya bhavana urvor vaishyo bhagavata padbyam shudro vijayata.
The Brahmanas arose from the Purusha's head. The Kshatriyas arose from his arms. The Vaishyas arose from his thighs. And the Shudras arose from his feet.
Yeah. So, the 14 lokas where a different variety of people are residing are imagined to be the different body limbs of the universal form. And from the same bodily form of the universe, universal form of the universal body, the four varnas are also imagined. Because the living entities all over the universe will be performing some of the activities, na? Brahmanical activity or Kshatriya activity or Vaishya activity, Shudra activity. So the Brahmanas, all the living entities performing Brahmanical activities arose from the Purusha's head. Because head, whatever the function of the head is like the Brahmanical activity. The Kshatriyas arose from his arms. The purpose of the arms is to protect the person. That is the function of the Kshatriyas. The Vaishyas arose from his thighs. Thighs are meant to take the weight. It is because of the strong thighs only we can stand properly. If thighs are weak, we can stand. We cannot stand. So our sustenance is based on thighs. That is Vaishyas. Vaishyas are producing food grains and co-products. So our sustenance is based on that. And the Shudras are from his feet, who will be performing all the activities. Incidentally, the Varnas also arose from his limbs. Literally, the Brahmanas are his face. The cause. Literally, Brahmanas are his face. The cause, the face, and the effect are the Brahmanas are taken as non-different. The Brahmanas and the face are considered to be non-different. In the sense, they do the functionality of the face in that sense. Kshatra means Kshatriyas. Shruti says, Brahmanasya mukamasid bahu, bahu, rajna, krita. The Brahmanas are his face and the Kshatriyas acted as his arms. Brahmanas arose from his head, Kshatriyas from his arms, Vaishyas from his thighs, and the Shudras from his feet. So these are the two ways. The different lokas and different people. Both of them manifest from the universal form. So this verse is similar to the Purushottam prayer like this. Brahmanosya mukamasit bahu rajnya krita urutadasya yad vaishya padbyam shudro ajayata. Burloka kalpita padbhyam buvarlokostya nabitha hruda swarloka urasa maharloko mahatmana.
From the feet to the hips, the planets from Patala to Earth are imagined. Bhuvarloka extends from the navel. Swarga is situated at the heart and Maharloka is at the chest.
Yeah. From the soles of the feet all the way up to the joints, the hip joints, the 7 lower planetary systems. And the hips are like the Bhuloka. And above hips we have abdomen, that is the Bhuvarloka, where navel is there, the entire abdomen along with the navel. And then the chest is where heart is situated, that is Sargaloka. And of course, heart portion is Sargaloka and the entire chest is Maharloka.
So hips are Earth planet or navel portion Bhuvarloka. Bhuvarloka मतलब जो मैंने पढ़ा है, it is outer space.
Yes, whatever, everything surrounding is called Bhuvarloka.
So there is, फिर उसके बाद डायरेक्ट स्वर्ग ही आएगा.
Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Sargaloka. Then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. Gradually going northwards.
ऐसा लोक करके ऐसा कुछ चाहिए नहीं, वो that is space only.
In that space, what we see every night? When you look upward in the sky, what do you see?
Stars.
The stars are the residential places of the residents of Bhuvarloka and Sargaloka.
अच्छा तो भुवरलोक में पूरे स्टार्स हो
पूरा stars रहता है. Every star is the place of one person. Indra has 1 star. Chandra has 1 star. Chandra of course itself has a graha, only moon. Like that, every devata has one star for their residence. That we see in the night time, and all the stars are the residents of different Bhuvarloka and Sargaloka vasis.
So जो 33 बोलता है सबके लिए उतने stars है. And what about the jiva when he goes to Svargaloka?
They will also be given 1 star.
1 star.
Everyone whoever goes to Bhuvarloka or Sargaloka, they will be given a star to reside there.
They will not stay along as a member in one of the stars. They will be given a separate star.
According to one's piety, will be awarded a star with that kind of facilities. So, for example, on a vacation, you will be invited to New York to Bhakti Center. When you go there, what Bhakti Center will award you? They will give you 1 room and some seva. They will give you 1 room to stay and then some seva also. And you say, what do you say? I am in America. But where in America? In America, in New York, in a area, 22 Second Avenue, in Bhakti Center Temple, in 1 building, in 1 room. So like that one room is 1 star. But America is like the Sargaloka.
America is like
Sargaloka. The big place. In that there are so many stars. So many homes. Every home is like 1 star. Not that 1 star, 1 person is there. Along with many other people also there. All of them will be there for serving him. So it depends on according to how much piety one performs. So showing the difference in imagining the planets for purpose of worship, 2 verses describe the body composed of 7 planets. The planets from Patala to Earth are imagined to extend from the 2 feet to the 2 hips. The lower portion is lower 7 planet system along with Bhuloka, and Nabi is Bhuvarloka, heart is Sargaloka, chest is Maharloka. Grivyam Janalokosya Tapaloka Stanadvayam Murdabhi Satyalokastu Brahmaloka Sanatana.
Janaloka is on the neck, Tapaloka is on the breast, and Satyaloka is on the heads of that form. Above this is the Lord's planet, which is eternal.
For the purpose of worship, it is not a fault to reverse the limbs, breast and neck. However, sthana can also mean lips. So, see, the hips is the Bhuloka, Nabi is the Bhuvarloka, heart is the Sargaloka, chest is the Maharloka. Then what is coming? Girvyam Janalokasya. The neck is Janaloka. Then Tapaloka Stanadvayam. The Tapaloka is on the breast. So again going down. That is another proper order. But if you consider them breast only, then also it is not a problem. Because in the purpose of worship, you can interchange here and there. But if you want to take him in the gradual order, the Stanadvayam can also be taken as 2 lips. So here Janaloka is there, and here Tapaloka is there. Murdabhi Satyaloka, and the forehead, the location of Satyaloka. Worship में ऐसा आगे पीछे बोल सकते. When devotee is in ecstasy, में से here and there बोल सकते हैं ना. तो आगे पीछे हो सकते हैं ना.
Do we have any other शास्त्रिक reference where the whole order is given?
है ना, बहुत सारा है. बाद में 3 घंटे में आएगा.
From that reference, we are trying to adjust. So then, from that understanding, we are actually thinking that the Tapaloka is actually on the lips. It is in that way.
Tapaloka is supposed to be above. That is what is described in the rest of the Bhagavatam. Here it seems to be opposite. Not opposite. Stanadvaya means, are you sure that Stanadvaya means only the breast? It can't be having any other meaning. That they say that Stanadvaya also can indicate the 2 lips. So in that way, that's why it is proper. Above Satyaloka is the planet of the Lord. Murdabhi Satyaloka. 2. You have studied about 2 also, na? First canto. 2 means something which you are going to discuss now will be different from the what was discussed previously. So above Satyaloka is the planet of the Lord, which is known as Vaikuntha. But this is not the object of meditation as a limb of the universal form, because it is eternal. Brahmaloka Sanatana. Remaining all are temporary. They only exist as long as the day of Brahma is there. At the beginning of Brahmasli, they are created. At the end of Brahmasli, they are annihilated by Lord Shiva. But Satyaloka, this is Brahmaloka, which is Sanatana, cannot be destroyed by Lord Shiva, because it is eternal. Though it exists within the universe, it is like the Lord eternal. This is one of the abode of Mahavishnu, Supreme Lord Vishnu, which is there just above Satyaloka, where Manvantara Avatara resides. This is one of the Vaikunthas within our universe. There is one Vaikuntha in Dhruvaloka, that is where Kyodakshya Vishnu resides. This is another Vaikuntha which is where Manvantara Avatara resides, just above Satyaloka.
So, in the universe, how many Vaikuntha lokas? Eternal planets are there?
3 Vaikunthas are there.
It's a Dhruvaloka.
One is this one.
This one.
Other one is above Lokaloka mountain. 3 are there. 3 places Lord Vishnu personally stays to oversee the activities of the entire universe.
And where Garbhodaksha Vishnu stays,
Is inside the water.
there is no.
It is not considered to be like that. Tat katyam chatalam kalpam klaptam urubhyam vitalam vibho Janubhyam Sutalam Shuddham, Jangabhyam tu Talatalam, Mahatalam tu Gulpabhyam, Prapadabhyam Rasatalam, Patalam Padatalam, Iti Lokamaya Puman.
The previous thing, one is above the Satyaloka, that is only part of Dhruvaloka.
Dhruvaloka is part of Sargaloka only. This one which is above Satyaloka is also called Vaikunta, where Manvantara Avatara stays for that Manvantara period. Dhruvaloka is part of Sargaloka, where Kshirodaksha Vishnu stays. Both are different.
Dhruvaloka is a part of Swargaloka. Then, when Dhruva actually was asking that give me a planet which is higher than even my great grandfather. So, but it seems that Brahma stays in Satyaloka and Dhruvaloka is one among the Swargalokas. So, how it becomes the greater than his great grandfather?
There is a 14-story building. The top floor is very simple, but the middle floor is full of amenities, opulences, lot of decorations. Which one will be costly?
In terms of the opulence.
Not only in terms of the opulence, whom it belongs to. The home of Lord Vishnu and home of Lord Brahma. Which will be superior? Then why are you asking about?
Because it is out.
So read. Read. Someone.
Atala is the buttocks of the Lord. Utala is the thighs. Pure Sutala is his knees. Talatala is his shanks. Mahatala is his ankles. Rasatala is the top of his feet. And Patala is the soles of his feet.
So this is the description of the lower 7 planetary systems. Now the method of meditation on the 14 planets is described. The 7 upper planets were already described. The 7 lower planets are described now in 2 verses. Sutalam is considered pure because Bali and Prahlada and other devotees reside there. Bali Maharaj is currently residing there. That's why it is called Sutalam Shuddham. Janubhyam Sutalam Shuddham. So like that. Atala to Patala occupy from buttocks to the feet. So thus, previously in 2.1 also we have seen something like this. Now also we are seeing something like this. So what was the purpose with which the 2.1 was described and what was the purpose with which 2.5 is described now? As a Dharanashraya for an attached yogi, the universal form has been described in the first chapter. So that the attached yogi can become freed from the hatred, envy and other bad qualities. So there what did Sukadeva Goswami do there? The limbs of the Purusha were equated with the planets in the first chapter. Within the universe, now in the 5th chapter, within the universe is the Purusha made of the planets, Lokamaya Purusha, whose limbs the wise imagined to be planets. Here what is done? The planets were imagined as the limbs of the Purusha. So like this. Satyaloka is the top of the head, Tapaloka is the forehead, Janaloka is the face, Maharloka is the neck, Svargaloka is the chest, Bhurloka is the navel, Bhuloka is the hips, Atala is the upper thighs, Vitala is lower thighs, Sutala is the 2 knees, Talatala is the calves, Mahatala is ankles, Rasatala is the heels, Pata is soles. This is the way the yogis imagine. So in both the cases, it is actually this kind of description is only meant for yogis. The problem comes is, there are some jnanis and yogis, they say that Lord means this much only. Lord does not have any personal form. If at all you say he has a form, so his form is nothing but his head is Satyaloka, forehead is Tapaloka, Janaloka is the face, Maharloka is the neck, Svargaloka is the chest, Bhurloka is the navel, Bhuloka is the hips, Atala is the high upper thighs, Vitala is lower thighs, Sutala is 2 knees, Talatala is the calves, Mahatala is the ankles, Vasatala is heels, Patala is soles. Like that, sometimes the yogis conclude the Jnanis and Yogis conclude saying that the universal form itself is the form of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, he has no form. He is Nirvikara, Nirakara Brahman. That's why Bhagavatam clearly mentions that the wise imagine these lokas to be the different bodily parts of the Supreme Lord, so that they can meditate upon it and they can purify their heart. When with the purified heart, then they can meditate on the Paramatma form in the heart, accepting him having a form. Otherwise, they cannot meditate. Since they don't accept the form of the Lord, how can they meditate on Paramatma form? When Paramatma comes, they say, this is Maya. Why Maya is coming in between? Get out. For that, the yogis are told to meditate on the universal form, saying that different lokas represent different bodily limbs of the Supreme Lord. When the heart is completely purified, then they'll be able to focus on Paramatma. That's why it is said as Kalpitam, imagined, the wise imagined, like that.
Again, what is the context difference between 2.1 and 2.5?
Read. Na? The limbs of the Purusha were equated with the planets in 2.1. In 2.5, the planets were imagined as the limbs of the Purusha. So there it is said that, so Lord's eyes you should see as the sun and moon. Lord's hands you should see as Indra. Lord's abdomen you should see as Bhuvarloka. Lord's chest you should see as Svargaloka. So everything that you know in this universe is nothing but the Lord only. You are trying to go to Swarga and enjoy. Whom you are enjoying? You are trying to enjoy the chest of the Lord. It's not good. Stop desiring to go to Swarga and enjoy. So like that, you will be freed of the desire to enjoy the material world.
That is in the context of 2.1.
2.1. Now in 2.5 it is said that it is Garbhodaksha Vishnu manifesting a universal form consisting of 14 planetary systems. So Bhuloka is the hips, Bhuvarloka is like the navel portion, Sargaloka is like the chest portion. Like that they are telling so that you can meditate upon that form.
But meditating in the 2.1,
both the places purpose is same. Purpose is same. Meditation. Why yogis are meditating? So that they can purify their existence. For the purification only. All meditation are. That's all. We are also told to do smaranam, na? Why we have to do smaranam? Antakalecha Mamaviva Smaran Muktva. So स्मरण करने से क्या होगा?
At the end of the life.
संस्कृत में बताओ.
स्मरण मुक्त्वा.
उसके बाद next line.
Yati na strasancho.
Means what?
In that consciousness,
You will come to my abode, attaining my nature. There is no doubt in that. Okay. Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tatvatha taktva deha punarjanma naitmameti. So Arjuna, Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tatvatha. One should know them in tatvatha. Know means what? After knowing it, one should speak about it, one should contemplate about them, one should do kirtanam and smaranam. Then one will be able to remember about them at the time of death. Then one will go back to Godhead, where they can get to see the pastimes of the Lord eternally, where one can become the part of the pastimes for the rest of eternity. So it is like that. Bhurloka kalpitapadbyam bhuvarlokostya nabita swarloka kalpito murdna iti va loka kalpana.
Earth and lower planets are imagined to extend from the feet. Bhuvarloka is at the navel. Svargaloka is imagined to be the head. This is how others imagine the planets on the universe.
Some say the universe has 14 planetary systems, the division we have mentioned. Some say the universe has 3 planetary systems. Then how to understand? The hips and below, Bhuloka. The joint portion, abdomen, is Bhuvarloka. And from the abdomen all the way up to top of the head is all Svargaloka. Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka also part of Svargaloka in that case. And lower 7 planetary systems are part of Bhuloka. Some people imagine like that, some people imagine like the previous description. Still no issue. Now the universal form is described in 3 parts. Burloka is considered with all the lower planets. Another bona fide imagination is to imagine the Earth and lower planets from feet to buttocks. Burloka at the navel and Swarga is at the head. This is how the description of the universal form has been mentioned. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any questions? No.